Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. You ready to get into it?
Always ready. Let's do it.
So today we're going to be exploring something a little bit different.
Okay? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's numerology.
Ah, interesting.
So we're going to be looking at a podcast episode called Cosmic Portal, which takes a look at the success of Elon Musk through the lens of numerology.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like decoding Elon Musk through numbers.
Exactly. So basically, numerology, for those who might not be familiar, is this idea that numbers derive from things like your birthday, and your name can reveal like hidden truths about your personality,
Hmm.
strengths, and even your destiny.
Interesting. So it's like a way of mapping out your potential through numbers.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does this apply to Elon Musk then?
Well, Cosmic Portal claims that his numerology is dominated by these two numbers, 1 and 7.
Okay, 1 and 7, and these numbers supposedly explain his success.
Yeah, they argue that these numbers are key to understanding his drive and his achievements.
Okay, so where do they even begin? Like, how do you find these numbers for someone?
So they start with Musk's birth date, June 28, 1971.
Got it.
By adding the digits in his birthday in a specific way, they calculate his life path number to be 7.
Okay, so his life path is a 7. What does that even mean?
Well, according to Cosmic Portal, the number 7 is all about being a visionary, a deep thinker, someone who's naturally inclined to solve problems and kind of see the world in a different light.
Okay, so you're saying the 7 kind of paints this picture of Musk as like the ultimate innovator.
Yeah, like the introspective innovator.
Right. Makes sense. But what about that other number, the 1? Where does that come in?
So the 1 comes from his birthday number,
Birthday number.
which
Okay.
is calculated just from the day of the month he was born.
Oh, the 28th.
Yep, and when you reduce that down to a single digit,
You get a 1.
you get a 1.
Interesting. So is it like the 7 explains his visionary side, and the 1 is where all that drive and ambition comes from?
That's exactly what they say. Like the 1 brings that leadership quality, that relentless drive.
Okay, I see. So this combo of 7 and 1, they say, is like this potent mix.
Yeah, fueling his ambition, but also giving him the intellectual depth to like bring his ideas to life.
Wow. It all sounds so straightforward when they lay it out like that.
Right. But it gets even more interesting.
How so?
Well, Cosmic Portal takes it a step further. They actually calculate the numerology of his full name, Elon Reeve Musk.
His full name.
Uh-huh. And guess what it adds up to?
Let me guess. Another 1?
You got it, another 1.
Wow. So 3 1s.
Yep, triple 1 energy, they call it.
Triple 1 energy. Okay.
And they claim this triple 1 energy explains why Musk is so uncompromising. Why he pushes boundaries, why he seems to operate on like a whole other level.
Interesting. But I have to ask, is there any real evidence to support these terms, or is this just like one interpretation of numerology?
That's a really great question. And honestly, numerology, like many ancient systems, has been interpreted and practiced in so many different ways throughout history and across cultures.
Right, so there might not be one correct way to interpret these numbers?
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of makes you wonder then, how much of this is subjective interpretation?
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Is there a single correct way to look at these numbers, or is it more open to like individual understanding?
Right, because Cosmic Portal is presenting a very specific take on Musk's numerology.
Yeah, but there could be other ways to interpret it.
For sure. So as we go deeper into their analysis, we need to remember that there are other perspectives.
And we got to keep an open mind about what these numbers might really mean.
Definitely. Can't just take everything at face value.
So Cosmic Portal claims that his numerology is this powerful force behind his success. They point to things like his ability to overcome setbacks, like those early SpaceX failures. Remember when those first 3 rocket launches failed?
Oh, yeah. That was a rough time for SpaceX.
It almost put the whole company under.
Right, and they're saying his life path 7, that grit, that problem-solving ability, is what pushed him to try a 4th launch.
And that 4th launch was successful, and they got that crucial NASA contract.
Oh, wow. So they're saying his numerology basically saved SpaceX.
In a way, yeah. It's a pretty compelling story, right?
It is, but is it really that simple? I mean, weren't there other factors at play too? Like a talented team market conditions, maybe even a little bit of luck?
You're absolutely right. Success is never just one thing, especially with something as complex as SpaceX.
Exactly. You got engineering teams, strategic partnerships, market trends. It's a whole ecosystem.
So while Cosmic Portal focuses on the numerology, we can't ignore those other crucial elements.
Right. We need to consider the bigger picture.
It's not just about the numbers themselves, but how they might interact with all these other forces in a person's life.
Definitely. It's all connected.
And that's something to keep in mind as we continue exploring Cosmic Portal's interpretation of Elon Musk's journey.
Sounds like we've got a lot more to unpack here.
We do. They also talk about his birthday 1 energy and how it shows up in his drive to start and lead multiple companies, Tesla, Neuralink, the Boring Company.
He does seem to have this endless energy for starting new ventures.
Cosmic Portal suggests that he almost gets bored easily, like he needs these constant new challenges.
Yeah, they actually quote Grimes, one of his former partners, who described his brain as like a tornado of ideas.
It's a pretty wild image, right?
It is. It definitely speaks to that constant need to innovate, to push boundaries.
And that kind of feeds back into that triple one energy they were talking about.
Right. They claim it's the reason he achieved so many firsts in different industries. Reusable rockets, mainstream electric vehicles, brain-computer interfaces. It's like his numerological code is leading him to break new ground.
Exactly. But here's the million-dollar question. Could there be other explanations for his achievements?
Right, like maybe it's not all about the numbers. Maybe he's just wired differently.
Or maybe it's a combination of his personality, his drive, the opportunities he's had.
Exactly. We got to keep those alternative explanations in mind.
We can't just credit everything to numerology.
Agreed. We need to be a bit skeptical, right?
Absolutely. But one thing I find really fascinating about Cosmic Portal is how they try to make numerology relatable to everyone.
Oh yeah, how do they do that?
They encourage their listeners to calculate their own numerology.
Hmm. Makes sense. People love personalized insights.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, you have a hidden code too. Discover what your numbers mean.
And it's not hard to see why people are drawn to this. It offers a sense of self-discovery, a way to maybe understand your own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's like we all have this secret blueprint waiting to be decoded.
And that's the allure of numerology. It taps into our desire for meaning, for purpose, for figuring out how we fit into the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. So to recap, we've got this intriguing system that tries to reveal truths about ourselves through numbers. We've seen how Cosmic Portal interprets Elon Musk's numerology, highlighting those key numbers, the 7 and the 1, and how they supposedly play out in his personality and achievements.
Right. But we're starting to raise some important questions. Is it really as simple as the numbers dictating his destiny, or is there more to the story?
Exactly, and that's what we'll keep digging into as we continue this deep dive. We'll explore Cosmic Portal's analysis, further looking at specific events in Musk's life, and see if his numerology really holds the explanatory power they claim.
Looking forward to it. This is already getting pretty interesting.
Me too, so buckle up as we dive deeper into the world of Elon Musk numerology and this quest to understand what makes a true innovator tick.
So we left off talking about those early SpaceX failures and how Cosmic Portal tries to connect that back to Musk's numerology.
Yeah, they really emphasize that Life Path 7 like it's this secret weapon that helped him overcome those setbacks.
Right, that inherent resilience for problem-solving drive. But, success in any field, especially something as complex as space travel, it's never just one thing, right?
Absolutely. There's got to be more to it than just a lucky number.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. You've got brilliant engineers, designers, countless people working tirelessly behind the scenes. It's a collective effort.
So maybe Musk's numerology played a part, but we can't discount the hard work and the expertise of the entire SpaceX team.
Right. It's like attributing the success of a whole orchestra to just the conductor.
It's a team effort, for sure. Okay, so Cosmic Portal connects Musk's Life Path 7 to overcoming challenges. But what about that other number, the birthday 1?
Ah, yes, that's where they get into his relentless ambition, his drive to constantly push boundaries, start new ventures.
Right, they point to Tesla, Neuralink, the Boring Company, all these companies he's founded as evidence of that number 1 energy.
Like he can't sit still, always got to be conquering a new frontier.
And they even quote Grimes again, saying Elon's brain is a tornado of ideas.
Which kind of paints a picture of this restless intellect always searching for the next big thing.
But is that really unique to Elon Musk, or is it just a common trait among successful entrepreneurs?
You're right. There are tons of driven, ambitious people out there who are constantly pushing the envelope. It's not like having a birthday 1 is some guarantee of success.
Exactly. It takes more than just numerology, right? It's hard work, vision timing, a bit of luck, the whole package.
Definitely. And while Cosmic Portal might make some interesting connections, we got to be careful about attributing everything to these numbers.
Right? Like correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because someone has a certain numerological profile and achieves great things doesn't mean those two things are directly linked.
Exactly. It's like saying everyone who eats ice cream is happy, therefore ice cream makes people happy.
Ha ha, right? It's just not that simple. But you know what I find really interesting about all this?
What's that?
Is how Cosmic Portal tries to bring it all back to the listener. Like they make it personal.
Oh yeah, they encourage their listeners to calculate their own numerology.
Exactly. It's like a call to action. Discover your own numbers, unlock your potential.
And I can see why people find that appealing. It's personalized. It offers this sense of insight into your own strengths and weaknesses.
Right. It's like a roadmap to self-discovery, and it taps into that human desire for meaning, for understanding our place in the world.
It's like we're all searching for that secret code that explains who we are and what we're capable of.
Okay, so we've got this neurological perspective on Elon Musk. We've explored the claims, the connections, the potential biases.
And we're starting to see that while numerology can be a fun and thought-provoking tool, it's Probably not the whole story.
Right, we can't just reduce someone as complex as Elon Musk down to a few numbers.
Definitely. There's always a bigger picture to consider. But you know what else Cosmic Portal dives into?
What's that?
They try to connect specific events in Musk's life to his numerology.
Oh, wow, like what kind of events?
They talk about his childhood, his early entrepreneurial ventures, even his relationships.
And they're saying these experiences all tie back to his life path and birthday numbers.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold claim.
It is, but it also makes you wonder, are they just cherry-picking events to fit their narrative, or are there genuine insights to be gained from this numerological lens?
That's a great question, and one we should definitely explore further. So let's dive back into the world of Elon Musk numerology and see what else we can uncover. So we've been talking about how Cosmic Portal connects Elon Musk's numerology to his success.
And they get pretty specific trying to link certain events in his life back to those magic numbers.
Right, they even go all the way back to his childhood, painting him as this kind of nerdy kid, fascinated by computers and science fiction.
Yeah, like those were early signs of his life path 7. The visionary, the problem solver.
Yeah, it's like they're saying those interests weren't just random hobbies, they were clues to his future greatness.
They even point out that he sold his first computer program when he was just 12 years old.
Like a little entrepreneurial prodigy in the making.
But here's the thing, right? Tons of kids are into computers and sci-fi, but not all of them become Elon Musk.
Right. It's easy to look back and kind of create a narrative that fits.
We can't just assume that because he was obsessed with space as a kid, his numerology destined him to become a rocket scientist.
Exactly. Correlation doesn't equal causation. But to be fair to Cosmic Portal, they do acknowledge that Musk's journey wasn't always smooth sailing.
Yeah, they talk about his first company, Zip, too, that online city guide that eventually got bought out for millions.
But they also highlight the struggles, the long hours, the near failures.
It wasn't all sunshine and roses.
And of course, they connect this back to his birthday one, that drive, that determination, that refusal to give up.
Like it was his numerology that pushed him through those tough times.
But isn't that kind of true of any successful entrepreneur? They face challenges, setbacks. It's part of the game.
Right, it takes resilience, grit, that ability to bounce back from failure.
And that's not necessarily tied to numerology.
So Cosmic Portal argues that Manas numerology gave him that extra edge, that ability to overcome adversity and ultimately achieve success.
But we have to remember that success is multifaceted. It's a combination of factors.
Right, it's talent, it's timing, it's opportunity, it's surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's not just about having a lucky number.
They also get into Musk's personal life, trying to connect his relationships back to his numerology.
Yeah, they bring up his multiple marriages and divorces, suggesting that his #1 drive for independence might make long-term partnerships difficult.
Like his ambition comes at a cost.
It's an interesting observation, but again, we have to be careful about drawing definitive conclusions.
Right, are they saying his numerology made him bad at relationships? Or is it just a potential factor among many others?
Exactly. Human relationships are complex. There's no simple answer.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Elon Musk in the world of numerology, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I think it's been a really fascinating exploration. We've looked at this idea that numbers can reveal hidden truths about ourselves.
And we've seen how Cosmic Portal applies that concept to try and explain Elon Musk's extraordinary success.
We've examined their claims, their connections, their potential biases.
And I think the biggest takeaway is that while numerology can be a fun and interesting tool for self-reflection,
We shouldn't take it too literally.
it's important to question assumptions, to consider alternative explanations, and to remember that human beings are way too complex to be reduced to a few numbers.
Numerology might offer a framework for interpretation, but ultimately our lives are shaped by our choices, our actions, our interactions with the world around us.
So as you continue your own journey of self-discovery, remember to approach systems like numerology with a curious but critical mind.
Take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't, and don't be afraid to question everything.
And maybe there's a little bit of magic in those numbers, but even if there isn't, exploring these ancient systems can spark our imaginations and help us see the world in new and intriguing ways.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of numerology and the enigmatic Elon Musk.
We'll see you next time for another exploration of ideas and insights from the world around us.